2012, that you had a little over $1 million in federal grants, and you can see that it's pretty much all the airport. You guys will have a single audit again come FY23 because of the airport project. So that was just, again, that some extra time that it took that we had to test the airport project, make sure all the invoices and internal controls and everything were properly followed, which the finger schedule of findings, we say that an unmodified opinion was issued on compliance with requirements applicable to each major program. So we did test the airport project and we didn't find any issues with it. And then staying on the schedule findings, that one finding that we had was, again, the journal entry finding, which you'll always have that. 95% of our clients have that one finding, and so there's no issues of control there. Page 108. So otherwise, I think that's pretty much all I got on the report here. There, any questions?
You kind of went kind of fast and
sure.
One question is,
yep.
Where are we at in our, where are we at for total debt?
You
don't have to add wastewater if you don't want to.
Well, because really GO debt, that's the only one that's outstanding.
Is it really okay?
Yes, that I did skip over that by.
And where's that at now? So
it was 6. Well, let's see. Because there's better schedule.
I don't know. You were back on 18 or 16 or somewhere, weren't you?
So on page 53 is the payment schedule of it, and so it's at 6.6 million, but it'll be paid off in FY26.
Okay.
So you only got 4 more years left on it.
Okay.
Can we borrow more at 2%?
So we can just go borrow one money, is what you're saying?
Well, when you count that into the debt limit, which again, you know, you have the calculation you do, but yet you're at 14. You're using 14% of your debt limit. Yes. Yep.
How does that compare to other cities our size?
I'd say pretty low. That you guys have a lot of room. That you know that you have the capacity to issue more. That I know of some cities that they're at 85% of that limit. So
Let's get to it.
No, but is that mainly because of difference in philosophy, and they feel they borrow to keep your reserves higher, or?
I think it probably is that, yeah, just a difference in philosophy, and they probably have a lot more projects going on. You know, that once they think that it is fairly similar size, but they're constantly having projects, and I guess that's just what they feel like they want to invest in.
Sure.
So
we're pretty good.
yes, yeah, I would say so. Yes.
Good place to move to.
Yes. Yep.
Where do you live?
That they just moved me out of town.
Well, tell them you're gonna move back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad.
Yep. Thank you.
I make a motion accepting the City of Lamar's annual financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2022.
Second. Yep.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yes.
All right, now we're on to the Bolton and Menk Services Agreement, Wastewater Treatment Facility Study. Attached is amendment number 1 to an agreement with Bolton and Menk, Inc. to provide wastewater treatment facility study. The original agreement was executed on July 16, 2019, with a not-to-exceed amount of $110,000. Greg Sint, P.E. of Bolton and Menk, Inc. will be available by phone to discuss the amendment. Administration recommends council approval of amendment number 1 that adds an additional $160,000 to the agreement. Greg, can you hear
Greg
us?
is on the phone.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
So if you have questions for him,
I went back and looked at the original agreement, July 19. And what does this really add? What are we adding? Greg?
This is really the preliminary design of the treatment facility. It goes beyond the planning process. There's a list of items in amendment number 1.
I saw that,
The preliminary site design and actually design of the facility, and preparing information for land acquisition.
yeah.
The equalization lagoon design and the geometric design and determining earthwork quantities. We have to get some borrow material. This is part of the design process.
Right, I see the bullet points. I see the bullet points, I mean, that you're going through.
Okay, good.
But what I'm asking is, or my concern is, we have a meeting coming up early in April, and I am a little bit uncomfortable with approving this until after that meeting with the major stakeholders in this project. And until we meet with them, this is Clark, by the way, of course, you probably knew that. I'm a little bit uncomfortable, Jason's laughing.
I smile.
I'm a little bit uncomfortable with doing anything with this until after that meeting with the major stakeholders in this project. That's just my sentiment. I'll be quiet after that.
I don't see anything on the list, though, that we double negative cannot not do. We've got to do this stuff, one way or the other.
Yes, you're 100% right, Mike. Unless somebody sees a major reason why they don't like what it is we're proposing. And if they see, then we've already okayed going ahead with development of a plan that maybe
Might have some changes.
might have some changes. So I'd be more comfortable with, like I said, everybody on board before we give the nod to preliminary design.
Yeah, because does this get us through preliminary, Greg? At the end of this, will we have a preliminary design?
Yes, you'll have a preliminary design and the facilities plan. The preliminary design is a conceptual design for developing the site. Also the user rate analysis.
Greg, this is Mike Donlin. If we were to consider and go forward with this amendment number 1 in April instead of now, does that have a negative effect on the process as you see it for the work that needs to be done?
No, we can just hold on invoicing, Mike.
How about me? How about you?
You only get you're so far down the road. But I just,
Well, that would at least assuage the issue you're talking about, Clark. I hope it doesn't come up that way.
Do we
I
have any
totally
meetings
agree,
scheduled?
and I think we're gonna be.
April 6th.
April 6th.
Yeah.
That's still after the next meeting.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
That's why I said in April, the second meeting in April.
Yeah, I mean, we're fine, I mean, if he's fine doing that, I mean, we can. You want to take, what would we do, like table it?
Second.
So in terms of content, I think it's fine, but I move we table the action on the amendment until our second meeting in April.
Yeah, and, yeah, just to clarify, this is something we have to do. I think everybody needs to be on board with it, before we, so.
So that was a motion, Mike?
Yeah.
Motion table?
I think Steve seconded.
I second.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I think, do we need to roll call that, or do we just approve? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Greg.
That's great.
Okay, guys.
Building and construction regulations ordinance is being proposed that the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Building and Construction Regulations be amended to clarify in Section 155.05 when permits are required and how fees are set. Nowhere in our current code does it state when a permit is required. Historically, a permit for a building has been required only when square footage is added. This change would specify when a permit is required under the following conditions. 1, new construction. 2, adding square footage. 3, modification of any building changing its categorical use. Administration is recommending the council proceed to public hearing.
Yeah, so this probably should have said, I mean, we still have, this applies to buildings, okay, obviously. I mean, because we have our fence permits that we do, but, like I stated here, I mean, I was taught, you add square footage, you need a building permit. So that's the way Greg was taught, that's the way Luke was being taught, but, it doesn't say that anywhere in our code of ordinances. It talks about when certificate of occupancies are required, but it doesn't say when somebody needs to get a permit. So I think it should be in there. I clarified it with the 3 things. So the big thing with this is 1 and 2 were obvious, that's what we've always done. 3 is really the bigger change. Because what that's gonna do now is we've never done remodels. You know, if you're gonna remodel your basement, you weren't adding square footage, it wasn't new construction, you didn't need a permit. That's gonna stay the same, but what it will pull in is if somebody wants to convert a single-family home into 3 apartments, okay, you're gonna need to get a building permit, which means we're gonna inspect. If somebody is gonna change, just pick anything, if somebody wants to pick, change a shoe store into a restaurant, that's a categorical change. Those 2 types of businesses require different things. So now they're gonna need a permit, and we'll inspect.
Another example has been in the past, there's been some churches that have been converted into homes, for example.
Yeah.
Another example that's happened.
Another one that's happening right now, but it falls without, is the, if anybody didn't know, where the Domino's is going, okay? That used to be a chiropractor.
Used to be drive-in.
Yeah, it used to be a drive-in to a chiropractor to now a Domino's. That is a categorical change of that building. A place that is gonna be making pizzas has different requirements than somebody who's cracking somebody's back. So those types of things, those are the permits that we're gonna be pulling in.
So a change of the building as a whole, because I'm envisioning, I know some people that have like converted a 1-stall garage to a room, a bedroom or something. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about actual.
Well, that might get pulled in too, because even though that's changing the use.
It's also
It's
adding
different
square
from
footage
somebody
living
parking a
space.
car in a portion to somebody sleeping. Then you're talking about changing it to a bedroom, then it needs an egress. You gotta have a way to get out. So it's gonna be quite a bit of a learning curve, I think. I mean, try to educate people.
I was gonna ask, how would the city be aware of it? If I turned my house into a duplex, how would the city be aware of it? I'm asking.
Just notice construction.
Well, in that specific example, you're gonna have to get a new address for the other.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have to have addresses, like 1.5 or something,
So we would,
Those are
But
post.
that'd be after
those
the
are
fact.
post office
but
signs.
you gotta go to the county as well.
And you need new water or whatever, you're right, so they're, okay.
Yeah.
Won't hurt to have a hearing.
Motion to establish April 4, 2023 at 12 o'clock PM for a public hearing to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Building and Construction Regulations.
Let's have a hearing, second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have an assistance request from Morrow Properties. Morrow Properties LLC is proposing the construction of a 12-unit apartment building on Lot 1 and part of Lot 2, Lamar's Business Park, First Edition. Morrow Properties LLC is pursuing financial assistance for a portion of the cost of this project, and as such is requesting approval from the City of Lamar's to submit an application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for funding through the Workforce Housing Tax Incentive Program. Council previously approved a request from Morrow Properties LLC on July 5, 2022 to submit a Workforce Housing Incentive Program application for the same project. However, the project missed being approved by the IEDA at that point, or by 1 point, excuse me. Morrow Properties plans to submit another application this year and thus needs a new resolution of support. Administration is recommending that the city fulfill a local match through the Urban Revitalization Plan tax exemptions. The plan allows for 100% exemption of taxes on new construction for the first 7 years on a multifamily residence. The estimated total tax exemption amount is $142,697 over the 7-year period. And I would add, I think Mark has been working with these folks to polish their application, to eliminate any deficiencies, so that hopefully it'll pass.
Yeah, so this Morrow Properties request is the more common of the two that we've done in the past. It's just requires a local commitment, and our commitment has always been the urban revitalization benefits that they get. So,
And we did it before, he just
Yeah.
didn't get the application.
Yep.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2318 approving the Workforce Housing Tax Incentive Program application to Iowa Economic Development Authority for the construction of multifamily housing by Morrow Properties LLC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Child,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Sturman,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to another assistant request for Gallus Construction Inc. Gallus Construction Inc. is proposing the construction of a multifamily housing in Lamar's, Iowa. Gallus Construction is pursuing financial assistance for a portion of the cost of this project, and as such is requesting approval from the City of Lamar's to submit an application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for funding through the Workforce Housing Tax Incentive Program. Administration is recommending the city fulfill the local match, which is an economic development grant equal to 5 years of exemption of taxes on $75,000 of it estimated or assessed value, estimated to equal $55,447. The estimated total tax exemption amount is $55,447.
all right, so this is the rarer ways of the two, but this is also something we've done in the past with Vision Builders when they built their townhouses out there. The reason it's different, they're called two different things. So Morrow's was a tax exemption. The Gallus one is an economic development grant because the two projects are different. Morrow is renting, whereas Gallus will be selling. The person applying is the one who needs to receive the benefit. So that's why Joe would get the money up front. The bookwork on our end after the fact is once Gallus has built these and sells them, that the new owners are uneligible to receive the same benefit because we're already giving it away. In essence, we'd be giving away the benefit twice. So if somebody were to buy them, they can't come in and fill out an application with Luke to receive the $75,000 off
You say we've done this before?
with Vision Builders. They got the money
They got the money?
up front, yeah.
Well, it's not upfront, I mean, they have.
Once he builds it.
No, I understand.
It has to be built.
Yeah, once he
He's
builds it,
just
he gets,
construction costs. I get it.
so that is the wrong term. I guess.
Upfront's a little misleading.
Yeah.
Pretty cozy.
And, you know, they both have to apply, and they both have to be awarded it before any of this stuff kicks in anyway.
Motion to adopt resolution 2319. Approving workforce housing tax incentive program application to Iowa Economic Development Authority for the construction of multi-housing by Gallus Construction.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bitchout,
Yes.
Motion carried.
Where's this at, Jason?
Which one?
Gallus.
Oh, where he's currently redoing the,
Insurance?
yeah,
Down
he's
there.
gonna put them, there's other buildings up there that he's gonna put up.
To the west?
Yeah, there's a map, yeah, towards the west.
It's noisy at fair time.
Okay, discussion.
Trains.
I don't really have anything, just an update. We were supposed to have the alley project reconstruction last Thursday, but because of the ice and snow and rain, it was rescheduled to this Thursday. So that's the only thing I have.
Jacob?
I don't have anything.
Mark?
Do we have, and I mistakenly asked this on the wrong department, do we have a spot where citizens can go online and say, hey, there's a really big pothole right here, or something along those lines, where they can, you know, without calling, just submit it